welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming with a different kind of video. This video can definitely be beneficial to men and it can definitely be beneficial to women as well. I had a male friend who asked me for advice. He wanted to know what was the difference between a little girl's mentality versus a grown woman's mentality. He just wanted to know how would a woman act versus how would a little girl act. Now, in all honesty, there are grown women out here that have bills, that have kids, that are married, that have that little girl mentality. So he wanted to know what was the difference. I'm going to explain to you how I feel. I pre-recorded this in my car because it was so hot on my mind and I didn't want to lose how I was thinking or how I was feeling. Like I was so in the moment. So I'm just gonna play the clip now and then we'll come back and discuss.
A grown woman is going to know her future. When you meet her, she's going to know her future. Not only will she know her future, but she'll be able to tell you what her plans are for her future. A little girl will not even begin to be able to tell you what her plans are, what her future holds. She won't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there are some grown women who walk around with little girl mentalities. Another example would be a girl who doesn't know who she is. I know a lot of girls who don't know who they are. And they think they do, but they really don't. They have yet to discover themselves. And it's one of the most frustrating things to see. And when I mean discover who you are, when you discover who you are, you have to be single. You have to be by yourself because you don't need anyone around you interfering with discovering who you truly are. So if you're dealing with a girl and she doesn't even know who she is, she doesn't even know what she really wants out of life, that is a girl who doesn't know who she is and she has yet to discover it. And in some cases, sometimes girls get in relationships and they don't know who they are. And then they start discovering like little bits and pieces of who they are. And then they end up in a relationship with some guy that they're not even compatible with because they didn't take the time to find out or to discover who they are. So that is another example of, the difference between a little girl versus a grown woman's mentality. A grown woman's going to know who she is. She's going to be confident in who she is. She's going to love who she is. And she has already went through that stage or that phase of finding out who she is. So when she meets you, she will know, like, no doubt in her mind, she'll have no doubt in her mind that she's supposed to be with you. She's supposed to be with you. She's supposed to be in a relationship with you. She's supposed to build a future with you. A grown woman is going to know those things because she's already discovered who she is. And if you're in a relationship with a girl who doesn't know who she is, she's unhappy with who she is, you guys may not even be compatible. You may be one of those people who are in relationships wasting time. That can definitely put a strain on a relationship because you got to discover who you are in order to fall in love with who you're supposed to be with, and that's just my opinion. There's no way that she could potentially fall in love with you if she hasn't fallen in love with herself first. Woman has to fall in love with herself first to really, 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 truly put it all into a relationship. To give a piece of her, she has to fall in love with herself. And because of that, love is very, very difficult. And it can be, all peaches and cream and gummy bears and whipped cream and chocolate and strawberries and all that shit. But when love gets tough, she has to be so strong within herself. If she's broken and she doesn't know who she is and she's giving a piece to herself into a relationship, it's just not going to work out. It's going to fail eventually. She needs to be whole within herself before she even thinks about getting into a relationship because, relationship takes work. It takes patience. It takes heartache. It takes a lot of work. So a woman needs to be built up so strong within herself that, before getting involved with a guy in a relationship, she needs to be whole. I could go on and on. Another example would be a little girl versus a grown woman mentality when it comes to finances. A grown woman, to me, is not going to walk around broke. I say this because if a grown woman is broke and she's walking around and she's a single woman, if she gets a flat tire or her car breaks down, she doesn't have a boyfriend to fix that. This old girl getting in her car next to me. She doesn't have a she doesn't have a man that can just say, here, babe, you know, go get your car fixed or go get your tire fixed. So that's why I'm saying a grown woman is not going to walk around broke. She's going to have money. She's going to have a savings. She's going to have her finances in order. She's going to have a budget in place. A grown woman is going to have those things because she's dependent on herself versus a little girl. A little girl will be dependent on someone else. She's looking for a handout. She's looking for assistance. She's a dependent. She's not independent at all. So that's another example.
Like I was saying, a grown woman is not going to walk around broke. What I meant when I said that, a grown woman is not going to walk around broke, doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have empty pockets. What I mean is that a grown woman is going to be able to take care of business. If she had to go and get her car fixed and it left her pockets empty, that is what I'm referring to. A grown woman will be able to do that. She will have the funds to take care of herself. Doesn't mean she may not go through a struggling period, because girl, I've been through the struggle. But I'm talking about the girls who walk around broke by choice versus the girl who walks around broke because she had to take care of business. There's a huge difference. A grown woman is not going to be looking for a handout. She's not going to be looking for a handout from anyone. Not her parents, not a man, not a friend, anyone. She's going to be looking at herself to provide for herself. If you're dealing with a girl who doesn't have the means, the mentality to provide for herself, that really questions, you know,
who's she? Like, who is she? Who is she?
Me personally, I have a very hard time with accepting gifts from men. Another example of a grown woman versus a little girl, I don't go out on dates if I don't have the money. If I can't foot the bill on the date, I'm not going out. And that's just my opinion. I'm not going out on the date.
Oh, I'm gonna go out, you know, and then the rent's due on the first and I'll just have to figure it out then.
I don't do that. I budget, I finance, I make sure my shit's in order. That is the difference between a grown woman and a little girl. We're not out here looking for a handout. We're not out here looking to marry rich or hit the jackpot. We are very content with ourselves. We're very content with providing for ourselves. So that would definitely make a huge difference. And you know, in some cases, I feel like us women like myself, we can come off very intimidating because I have my shit together. I know what I want out of life. I have no filter when it comes to expressing what that is. I am not out here chasing. And I also feel like that is the difference between a grown woman and a little girl. You know, little girls chase. They chase, they chase, they chase. And honestly, if a man doesn't want you, he doesn't want you. There's nothing that you can do to change that. It doesn't matter how long you chase him. It won't matter. It won't ever matter because he never wanted you. If he wanted you, he would have actions in place showing that he wants you. There's nothing sexier than a man who wants you and shows that he wants you. If you're in a relationship with a woman, you feel that she may have the little girl mentality. Honestly, you need to look at it from this standpoint. How much do you love her? Like, are you willing to wait for her to grow up? Are you willing to give her room and time to grow? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm one of them rare females that have my stuff together at my age. So just because, don't compare women either. Just because your girl or your girlfriend is not in the mindset of myself doesn't mean she won't ever be. But you need to ask yourself, how long are you willing to give her? How long are you willing to wait for her? Do you really love her? If you really love her, you're willing to wait. I also feel that maybe you should help her get into the mentality. I don't feel that you should neglect her because she's not in this mentality. Now, just like men, just like it takes you guys time to mature and grow, it's the same for women. We don't get a pass on this. I would honestly say that I went through a lot earlier on in life to be where I am today, to be this mature and well-rounded individual. So some women, life hits them later in life, and some women, life hits them earlier in life. It just really depends. So don't feel like you have to walk away from her, but try to figure out how you can help her grow, how you can help her move on in life. Don't feel like you just have to break up with her or anything like that. If you see potential in her and you feel that she can live up to that potential, it takes time. And time is something that you know, it can be wasted, so you just have to be careful. But at the same time, don't just easily give up on someone. Be there for them, wait on them, be patient, and especially if you're young, be patient, because people do change, people do grow up, and it just takes going through life experiences. So yeah, this pretty much concludes this video, you guys. I hope it was helpful. I'm nervous about doing advice videos because I'm not a licensed individual to be giving advice on someone else's life. But if you want to get my advice from if I were in your shoes, this is what I would do type of advice, give this video a thumbs up. But I will definitely be putting a disclosure. This is unlicensed advice. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the little bell down there so that you can be notified of when I upload. I upload every week. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. I decided to do the 5-day pouch reset diet. So still on day 1, I showed you the water, the protein, and then these are the broths that I use. This one's like really, really good. It tastes like real chicken, like gourmet.